This is GARIS Masculist MGTOW flyers, that is 2-3 page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW. Written and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 173, entitled EMOs, that's E-M-O. Women who accept equal moral obligations with men. Description. This flyer claims that women being FIP is not enough, FIP is financially independent person, is not enough to liberate men from fluffy feminism and the financial parasitism of fluffies. Women also need to be emo, believing that women have the moral duty to be menfair and not gynocentric tyrants. The flyer itself. Full screen. EMOs. Women who accept equal moral obligations with men. A lot of women are FIPs, financially independent persons, who became FIPs due largely to feminists pushing women to take control of their own financial lives and not be dependent on men for their livelihood. For masculists, who want all women to be FIPs, this second wave feminist push to get women to become FIPs is a good thing. A necessary but not sufficient step for men to be liberated from the oppression of being man-slaves to fluffy parasites. But a lot of FIP women still have fluffy attitudes towards men, by default, because they know nothing about MGTOW/masculist ideas, so they still see men as cash machines. These fluffy FIPs can be quite hypocritical in the sense that they like having the money and the power that being FIP gives them, but still expect men to serve women's interests when there is a zero-sum game situation between men and women. They are still fluffy in that sense. Fluffy feminists are even more hypocritical. They are pushing for equal rights for women, but insist on keeping fluffy attitudes when it comes to the divorce courts and the lack of a P-A-R-E-R, paternity rejection right, and many other legal discriminations against men. They want their cake and to eat it too. For example, when it comes to divorce, these fluffy feminists will insist that custody of the kids goes to the mother, that divorcing husbands should give up their house to the divorcing mother, that he should pay her child support, and if she's a real fluffy, that he should pay her alimony so that she can remain a fluffy parasite. Such hypocritical fluffy feminists would be horrified to have to accept emo attitudes. Such women are very definitely not emos. An emo woman would hold the belief that men and women should be treated equally in regard to divorce, the paternity rejection right, etc. An emo woman accepts the principle that men and women should be given equal moral obligations regarding gender issues. There aren't many emo women today, so MGTOW/masculists have a lot of work to do to convert women into emos through education, moral pressure, moral haranguing, and MGTOW/masculist punishment of women if they're not FIPs and they don't have emo values. It's not enough for women to be FIPs. Women also need to be emos, otherwise they will still see men as cash machines and treat men badly. MGTOW/masculists need to change the mentality of women, brainwash them, educate them, motivate them, push them, force them to be FIPs and emos. There are many things MGTOW/masculists can do to make women feel that being emo is something they should be. For example, the MGTOW/masculists can set up men's lib groups in every high school and college, putting enormous pressure on women to stop being fluffy crappers, that is, studying fluffy crap at high school and college, so that they graduate with a fluffy crap diploma that is considered worthless by the economic marketplace and hence gets poorly paid, so that fluffy crappers end up rather poor and then look around for some manslave when they're in their 30s who will pay for the middle-class house to raise her kids in that she cannot afford with her fluffy crap diploma. MGTOW/masculist high schools can exert enormous moral pressure on women to be FIPs and emos. They can refuse to date women who are not FIP/emo, treating fluffy crappers with contempt and simply ignoring them, letting them rot on the shelf. At university, in a much more intellectual environment, the level of ideological pressure on women by the MGTOW/Masculists can be ratcheted up a lot compared with high school. University MGTOW/Masculists can use their intellectual arguments, their MGTOW/Masculist ideas, to browbeat women into being FIP/emo or be punished by being ignored. MGTOW/Masculists need to get the broadcast media involved by pushing their ideas onto the journalists and TV producers. They can use their nuclear weapon, their strongest argument, that is the population annihilation argument, that, quote, if society and the gender laws are not made menfair, then the MGTOW/Masculists will wipe out whole populations by continuing to reject paternity, end quote. Sooner or later, this #1 issue of our whole historical era will have to break consciousness in the Western countries, the way it has already done in Japan, which is about a decade ahead of the West that way. In ethics classes at high school and college, MGTOW/Masculists can raise MGTOWs/Masculist issues in their classes and raise the awareness/consciousness of their classmates to these issues, especially the massive gender injustice committed against men in the divorce courts and the hypocrisy of the lack of a para when women have the mara, etc. We need to change the moral expectations of women through a concerted morality campaign. Women need to be taught by their parents and their teachers that women have to be toughened up so that they can be FIP, and they need to be pushed to behave as responsible adults and not as spoilt children when it comes to equal moral obligations with men. Fluffy feminists need to be vigorously attacked for their hypocrisy and treated with contempt. Fluffy FIPs still need work. They are halfway there, being FIPs, but still need to be converted into EMOs. There is power in labels. Hopefully this term emo will catch on, so that men can use it on women, pushing them morally to be emo, or they will be punished by not getting a man. The message needs to be drilled into women that not to be emo is to be immoral, hypocritical, parasitic, and worthy of not having a man. In the future, only FIP emo women will get a man. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. YouTube channel name De Garis Masculist MGTOW Flyers. Ciao.